Have you ever had questions about natural interventions for ADHD? If so, stick around because today I'm going to answer 6 of the most common questions I get asked. I'm Dana Kay, a board certified holistic health and nutrition practitioner, and I work with families all across the country, teaching them, and that's the USA country. I know I don't sound like I come from there, but I live in Washington state. And so I work with families all across the USA, teaching them what foods to eliminate, what foods to eat more of, and what else we can do to really help reduce their child's ADHD symptoms naturally, because it's not just about food. But I'm also a mum of a son with ADHD, so I get how hard it can be. My oldest child, Oliver, has ADHD, and years ago, his symptoms were so bad that our entire family was miserable. And I won't go into my whole story today because I know that many of you tuning in have already heard it. But suffice it to say, life back then was really, really hard. But it's not that way anymore. And I learned how to naturally support him using food and other natural strategies. And now he's thriving and he's completely off medication and doing better now than he has ever done on meds. Go ahead and take a moment to hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss any of my videos about ADHD and how to support a child naturally. Now, I wanted to hop on here today to answer some of the questions I've been asked a lot lately. So let's dive in. The first question is, what changes do I need to make to start seeing results? And this is one of my absolute favorite questions. If you haven't yet watched my Reduce ADHD Symptoms Naturally Masterclass, I want to invite you to go check it out because I answer this question in so much detail there. And you know what? It's only 29 minutes long, and I think it will be really helpful if you're new here or just getting started. I'll pop the link to the masterclass in the description of this video, so go and check that out below. Now, the second question I get asked really often is this. How quick will I see results once I make the changes you recommend? This is such a great question, and I wish there was a really clear-cut answer, but unfortunately, it really varies from child to child. Some kids will have marked improvement within a few weeks. This was my son. 2 weeks after we removed gluten, dairy, and soy from his diet, he was literally a different child. But for others, it can take up to 12 weeks or even a few months. Every child is so different, and it all depends on how strong of an inflammatory response their body is having. Now, another really common question I get asked is, do I really have to be 100% gluten-free if I want to see results? Yes, definitely. You will not get to where you want to go if you have a little gluten or a little dairy here or there because you're never really giving the body a full chance to heal. It can take some kids months to really get that inflammatory response down in their body. You have to remember that it took our kids X number of years to get to the point where they are with their current level of dysfunction or chronic symptoms, and that there is no quick fixes. Okay, question number 4. Will changing diet alone really be enough? That's a little hard for me to believe. I do hear that one a lot. Now, when I work with families, many of them, about 50%, are able to see significant improvements just based on diet changes alone. When they remove those top inflammatory foods and start using positive parenting techniques, they are able to get where they need to go. But for the other half of the families I work with, there is an underlying stressor that's really aggravating symptoms, contributing to those symptoms. So something like a parasite or yeast overgrowth or mold exposure or bacteria in the gut. Now, to get them to a place of calm, we have to dig a little bit deeper through lab testing and then targeted supplementation based specifically on what those labs showed us about the health of that child's gut and other areas of the body. Question number 5 is, can't I just make these changes on my own? Why do I need to join your program? I am fully confident that you can support your child naturally, and you've got this. But that extra support can go a long way and save you tons of time and money. I made the changes completely on my own with very, very little support or guidance from an expert. And honestly, it was so hard. So hard that one time, shortly after tossing all the food we could no longer eat, I found myself huddled on my bedroom floor on the verge of a panic attack. And I probably had multiple panic attacks over that period of time, and I really don't want it to be that hard for anyone else. And that's the reason I created my program, so that no one else would have to go it alone like I did. So, is it possible to see results if you make these changes without support? Absolutely. But if you want to save yourself time, imagine no more Googling which natural strategy might work. If you want to save yourself money, think no more wasting money on random supplements or therapies that have little effect. And if you want to save stress, imagining having an expert coach to guide you every single step of the way. I'd be honored to walk that journey with you. I have had multiple families come back to me 2 years after they started following me and said, I just wish I got your help 2 years ago. I would be in a completely different place if I did that then. The best way to get started with me or find out more information is to book a free call with my team, and I'll pop a link to do that in the description below, so check that out. Now, the final question I get asked quite often is this: do you guarantee this will work? Every child is different and every family is different. In my experience, though, if a family follows all the guidelines we suggest and fully removes all the foods we tell them to remove, help do all the things to reduce that inflammatory load in the body, replace foods with whole fruits and veggies and good sources of protein, then they will see positive results. Will symptoms disappear completely? Maybe. Maybe not, but in my experiences, when families put in the work, they see positive changes. So if you've got any other questions that I didn't answer today, go ahead and pop it in the comments and I'll keep an eye out on them and answer any more that get added. I also want to invite you to hit that subscribe button below. I post videos here several times a week, so make sure you never miss a video by hitting subscribe. That's it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye for now.